Yeah, it's not just more of the same. In a type 2 event, you're really, in a lot of ways, doing more management than you are doing leadership. And I would say that would probably be the key, that transition from being a manager, making sure that processes are being followed and that people are showing up on time, the general routine stuff. As you transition into a type 2, type 1 event, those are the big changes that you need to then become a leader and be setting directions. And the way that I've found successful and the way that, quite frankly, a lot of research backs up, in particular the Kennedy School of Government has done and written a book called Managing Crisis. It talks about the difference between Mode R and Mode C. And it talks about the attributes of a Mode R versus the attributes of a Mode C. What they mean by R, they mean routine versus crisis. In a routine event, the flash to bang is instantaneous. You see somebody having a cardiac arrest. You call an ambulance. You don't want the EMT being creative in how they treat your heart attack. You want them to follow the routine, follow the guidance, because that's your best chance of survival. In a type 3 event, you don't want a lot of creativity. You don't want a lot of flexibility. You want it to run because it's a tried and true thing. We've been incredibly successful at it. 90% of FEMA's business is the type 3 event. We're very, very successful at that. We have good, happy customers in our states and our sub-grantees, so it's going to be a stretch. Those scripts are well practiced, well executed, and we constantly get reinforcement that we're doing it the right way. It's also scalable to a certain extent. You can scale it up a little bit and it'll manage, but if it goes bigger than that, it becomes more complicated, then you shift over into the crisis mode. And when you get to the crisis mode, you're facing things that you haven't faced before, that your organization hasn't faced before, things that are stretching, what our capabilities to execute are, and you have to get creative. By definition, you're creating on the fly new solutions, new capabilities to be able to execute. So you have to keep an open mind, and this is the most important part, and this is the most difficult part for people who work in government. You have to have a high tolerance for error. You have to be willing to take risk, and you have to be willing to accept both from yourself and from your teammates and the people who work with you that they're not always going to get it right, and that you have to be able to recover from that fast and go at it again. So you have to continually not give up and stay into the fight to get it done and reduce suffering and save lives. That's your ultimate mission. It's not for people who is afraid to make mistakes. They have to be willing to be courageous and to try things that they've never tried before. That's the heart of it. And we as an organization have to embrace that. We have to create that environment around us where people feel safe in taking chances, where people feel that people are going to be open to their ideas. And that's hard to do, because in our routine events, and this is why it's such a transformational change to move up and to a type 1 FCO. When you move into a type 1 event, you have to be willing to move in a different direction, to try new things, and to be willing to be comfortable with it not always working the way you intended. At the end of the day, at FEMA, the thing to keep in mind is if you're looking for the cavalry to come behind you, there isn't any. You're it. You're the only thing separating the United States of America from chaos.